If you are struggling with hip rotation through your golf swing, maybe you're struggling with a little bit of hip pain, you're in the right place, because today I'm going to take you through 3 stretches to help release off your hips and regain that full rotation. Welcome back to the Macro Golf YouTube channel. If you're new here, welcome. It means a lot to me if you come and join us on this journey we're going of trying to get every golfer understanding their golf fitness and improving their journey through becoming fitter, healthier, more mobile. So if you want to subscribe to the channel, that means a lot to me. If you're a returning visitor, welcome back. So today we're talking about the hips, and we're talking specifically about hip rotation and how we gain better hip rotation through some stretches that we can do at home using no equipment at all. So if you're someone who struggles, maybe a little bit of some sway, slide, maybe a bit of vertical extension, maybe you've been told by a coach you don't use the ground very well, maybe you've seen on some videos that you've done that your hips are not rotating very well, you're in the right place, because today we're going to go through 3 stretches. You're not going to need any equipment. You can do all of these from home, and I'm going to take you fully guided through the stretches and show you how to perform them to the best of your ability. By the end of the stretch, you should immediately feel better in terms of pain, stiffness, rotation, and you should instantly notice the difference in your rotation as well. So this was so good about mobility training. We will instantly notice the difference from before and after. So I'm gonna take you through all 3 stretches. If you don't want to do one, you can just skip through. All the links are below for you to jump through the video. Let's dive into stretch number 1. This is the hip capsule mobilization. You're not gonna need any equipment to do this movement. We're gonna first of all come onto our knees and onto our palms. Now from here, we're going to start on the right side. So I'm going to take my left leg and place my left leg behind me, and this is going to put all of the weight through my right thigh bone. So all of the pressure is coming through my right thigh, all the way up to my right glute. Now from that position, all I'm going to do is shift my hips slightly over to the right hand side. And as I do that, I'm going to feel like my thigh bone wants to poke out the side of my right glute. Okay, that's the feeling we want. Once we've found that position, all we're going to do is slowly rock ourselves backwards until we feel like we're near end range, and then just slowly move it forwards. And you should feel like your bone still wants to stick out the side of your bum, but we're just mobilizing that joint capsule now and getting some good movement in there. If you've ever felt like in a deep squat you're getting a block across the front of your hip, this will really, really help you. So just moving back and forth very gently. I can move my hips around. I can kind of make a few little semicircles if I want to, little half moon shapes. We're really trying to keep this load on the outside, and then I can just slowly drop it back a little bit further if I want to. And then all we're going to do is a little bit of contract relax here. So I'm going to stop at a position that feels like I've got a little bit of tension. I'm going to take a deep breath in and hold it. Deep breath in now and hold. And I'm just going to squeeze my glute as hard as I can. Squeeze, 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 squeeze. And then I'm going to exhale and just relax. And that's probably just giving me a little bit of extra room. I'm going to repeat that one more time. I'm going to take a deep breath in, hold that breath and squeeze my glute as hard as I can. Squeeze, 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 and slowly exhale. A little bit more movement here. Great work. Let's do the other side. So left leg comes forward now, right leg goes back. And again, I'm just going to shift my hips over to the left hand side now. So hips get shifted to the left, all of the pressure going through my left thigh bone. And then I'm just going to drop my hips backwards. Feel like the left thigh bone wants to jump out the side of my left glute. And I'm just going to rock gently back and forth in this position. Feel free to play around with some different kind of movements. And again, just keeping an eye on your breathing at the moment. We're going to take a deep breath in and hold it. So deep breath in now and hold. Squeeze your glute as hard as you can. Squeeze, 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 squeeze. And slowly relax. Just keep on moving a little bit. This is going to retrain that new position that you're in. Let's do one more contract, relax. Take a deep breath in. Hold the breath and squeeze the glute as hard as you can. Squeeze, 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 squeeze. And relax. Good work. A little bit more movement here. And slowly dismount. Guys, fantastic work. That is your hip capsule mobilization. This is our hip rotation complex, and the only reason this is a complex is because we're going to get two things done at once. It's not necessarily a more extended version of a hip routine. So what we're going to do is come down to our backs. We're not going to need any equipment for this movement. What we're going to do from this position, we're going to take our left leg, cross it over our right thigh, and now we've got a little bit of external rotation on this left hip. What we're now going to do is drop this whole complex over to the left hand side. So I'm letting my right knee drop over towards the mat. And what we're now getting is external rotation in the left hip and internal rotation in the right hip. I'm going to open up my arms to keep my shoulders flat to the mat. And I'm going to now think about breathing into this right side. So I'm taking a deep breath in and out. Really trying to let that right knee drop towards the mat. I can use my left knee as pressure on top of that right knee to pull it down. Let's do a few more breaths here. One more deep inhale. And exhale. And let's move to the other side. So we swap that complex over. I'm now going to do right leg over left leg. And I'm now going to drop this whole system over to my right hand side. So dropping that over, keeping that right foot on top of the left thigh. Drop that over, drop it over, drop it over. Think about getting my left knee towards the mat. Open up my arms. And breathe in now into my left side. So I'm going to take a deep breath in. And out. 2 more deep breaths. Last deep breath in this position. Really try and get that left knee down. And come back to center. And that, guys, your internal external hip rotation complex. This is the rotating pigeon stretch. So we're going to come into a 90-90 position. I'm going to start my left leg forward. So I'm just come left leg at 90 degrees, right leg at 90 degrees. And I'm not necessarily worried, alternatively to a normal pigeon, of getting this hip straight. So I'm only really worrying about this front leg, okay? So if you need to have something underneath your knee for a little bit of support, that's absolutely fine. Sometimes like a little pillow or something underneath the knee might help. But if not, we can just go in this position. And the first thing we're going to do is think about dropping our chest over towards our knee. So this is where we're coming away from our traditional pigeon pose and just getting a little bit of rotation here. So I'm just dropping my chest over the top of this left knee. Once I feel like I've got a little bit of a stretch coming on, I'm just going to take a deep breath in, a deep breath out, and I'll feel that as I exhale, I'm just allowing myself to drop a little bit further. Now we're not going to go for any contract relax in this rotating pigeon pose. I quite like this one to more be of a relaxing stretch. What we're going to do is we're just going to take another deep breath in, another deep breath out, and again, as we feel like we want to rotate a little bit more this way, I'm just now going to think about dropping that right knee back a little bit. So just pull that right knee back a little bit, pull my chest over to the left a little bit, and now I feel like I'm getting this stretch. So this is kind of across our anterior chain. We're going to come up with a little bit of a stretch on our right thigh, up this hip, across to this opposite shoulder. So I'm just going to walk my hands around a little bit further to get that stretch on a little bit more. You can see my chest has come away from that knee now. I'm going to take another really deep breath in, a really deep breath out. And you can probably feel now how we're starting to put a little bit of stress onto this front system as we breathe. I'm just going to walk around a little bit further with my hands, really trying to get some good rotation here now. I'm going to walk that right leg back again a little bit. You might feel like it's starting to stretch a little bit across the front of the hip here. That's exactly what we're after. Let's take another deep breath in. Another deep breath out. And you can see now, just by that, and you've hopefully done the same, managed to rotate a lot further away from this knee. So let's switch over, let's do the other side. Let's take right leg forward now. Left leg's going to go back, we're going to be in from 90-90. And again, remember how we started, we kind of just dropped this chest over the opposite knee. So take a deep breath in here, and a deep breath out. Just feel as you exhale, you sink a little bit further into that stretch. Let's just walk the hands around a little bit more and think about dropping this this left knee now a little bit further back. So we're really just trying to get a big separation between this knee and this chest. We're just trying to pull those two parts away from each other. Take another deep breath in, deep breath out. Just ease that knee back a little bit further. Just walk your hands around a little bit further. Notice how we're not really dropping over. I really like to maintain some good posture here and think more about this rotational aspect of really trying to separate from this back leg. So walk that back leg back a little bit more, pull your chest around a little bit more. Let's take 2 more deep breaths here. Take a deep breath in and out. Take up any slack that's been given to you. And let's do 1 more deep breath in and out. Fantastic work, guys. That is your rotating pigeon. So there we have our 3 hip stretches you can do from home, no equipment. Hopefully you're already feeling better across the hip. Hopefully you're feeling less stiff, more mobile, and ready to play the best golf of your life. If that video was useful for you, please hit the like button. That means a lot for me. Share this video with a friend who needs to release their hips and play better golf. And remember, hit the subscribe button, click the notification bell, you get notified of all the videos that's released. Until then, guys, see you on the next video.